For thousands of years, many of the greatest rulers of all time have abided by the cardinal virtues of a single philosophy. This philosophy emphasized temperance, courage, justice, and practical wisdom. The great Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who ruled for 20 years with arguably the most power in the entire world at that time, practiced this philosophy. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Nassim Taleb, and Tim Ferriss all have studied and put into practice this same philosophy. It's a philosophy about living the best possible life. That sounds pretty good to me. So what I did is I collated, correlated, and corroborated from historical texts, modern day translations, and popular sources to develop 11 fundamental principles, 11 central Stoic ideas that have been around for centuries and can help us live a better life. Here are 11 Stoic principles, 11 Stoic tenets to live by. Rule number 1 is self-control. You only have to doze for a moment, and all is lost. For ruin and salvation both have their source inside of you. Discipline or self-control can bleed into every single thing you do. Exercise, diet, studying, reading, and working depend on discipline. The better our discipline, the more we can accomplish. Importantly, we must be aware of our unique flaws, what distracts us, and what focuses us. Because that way we can understand the way we uniquely work. Distractions are noted and ignored. Goals are noted and pursued. Beyond the discipline of our actions towards what we think is beneficial, we can also have self-control towards what we think is negative. And what do I mean by this? Well, for me, anger, boredom, fear, anxiety, jealousy, and excitement can sometimes take over my thinking, can sometimes take over my brain. But I don't want my thinking brain to be overruled because this is the magical thing that was created through evolution, right? It's the one that makes rational decisions. It's the reason why this brain is above a lizard brain, or at least I hope it is. He who cannot obey himself will be commanded. That is the nature of living creatures. Now this sounds very good, very cool, but how do we take action? Well, here are some things we can do that are much easier said than done, by the way, to take action and start taking better control. Number 1 is, I would say, eliminate distractions as much as possible. This includes social media, TV, video games. And then add in the hard things that are good, and you know what I mean. Exercise, reading, and nature. The next thing I would do is treat every day like a new day. What's in front of you? How can you improve today? Take control of your anger and take control of your excitement. Whenever strong emotions come up, notice them, but don't let them control you. I'd say at a minimum, whenever a powerful feeling arises, I'd take 10 seconds and just wait it out before you do anything drastic, because what happens is these strong emotions tend to cloud our judgment. Maxim number 2, or lesson number 2, is courage. The belly will not listen to advice, it makes demands, it importunes. Overcome the belly and the world is your oyster. My belly told me to never post anything with my face on the internet. My belly told me not to ask girls on dates. My belly told me I wasn't smart enough to be a doctor. Courage eventually allowed me to overcome these obstacles, and it's made my life 10 times happier. Courage is like a muscle, and the things that evoke fear are like a guiding path. And I've learned that the things that erupt a feeling of fear or anxiety inside of me are usually the things that will make me the most happy. And I know that because after I've done that, I feel much better. And also after I do that, my courage muscle gets a little bit stronger as well. For example, I went to my first yoga class, studied abroad for 6 months, and went for a run when I had absolutely no idea how to run, built a podcast studio, destroying my bedroom. And I did all of these things because I thought of them and I thought these things are pretty cool, but I kind of felt scared to do them. I kind of felt like maybe I shouldn't do them. And I knew that, okay, that means I need to do it. Of course, be reasonable here. I don't mean jump off a bridge because you're scared of jumping off a bridge, or putting your hands in a fire because you're scared of putting your hand in a fire. That would just be stupid. When you start conquering your fears and building your courage, you realize that anything is possible. So take action. Do something you are scared of doing that you've been putting off for a while. You know exactly what I mean. Principle number 3 is justice. Think on this doctrine, that reasoning beings were created for one another's sake, that to be patient is a branch of justice, and that men sin without intending it. Now, the Roman emperor here is telling us to be compassionate to our fellow human beings. He even goes further to say that their mistakes are exactly that, mistakes. They aren't unintentional. Marcus Aurelius wants us to live under the impression that everyone is innately good. And because everyone is innately good, every single person is due justice, because we all have such a big impact on one another. What injures the hive injures the bee. Where is your moral compass oriented? And now that you have the proper orientation, and of course everyone's orientation will be different, how close are you towards that orientation? Are you 40 degrees, 45 degrees off? Are you 90 degrees off? Are you 180 degrees off? Can you just shift a little bit closer towards where you think your compass should be pointing? Marcus Aurelius was renowned because he was probably the most powerful person in the time when he ruled, yet he was humble and controlled. He could have had people act as his literal furniture. He could have made them chop off their hand and just give it to him for fun. He could live on gold everything. He didn't. He lived a simple life. He rode into combat with his soldiers. He didn't participate in like backstabbing or coercion that a lot of, Rome went under. And amazingly, he deferred to his Senate for permission to spend money and make decisions even when he didn't have to. He really, really cared for his people, or at least that's what we can see by the history books. So take action here. How can you improve another person's life today? Do it. This could be as simple as like a call to a family member saying you're pretty cool. You could assist in your local community, or you could go bigger, right? And start a foundation that's whole purpose is to help other people. Principle number 4 is truth. If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek truth by which no one has ever been truly harmed. Harmed is the person who continues in his self-deception and ignorance. This is not truth as in like you shouldn't tell lies, although that's probably important, but it's saying that you should always search for the truth. You should always search for what is objectively true. Be open to different ideas. Do your research. Think independently while respecting other people's insights. But when there's incontrovertible evidence against whatever you are thinking, against your belief, you should be able to switch your beliefs, be able to switch your viewpoints. Of course, believe in what you believe in, but if all the objective evidence points towards the opposite, you should believe that your belief is wrong. And that's okay, right? Because you're searching for the ultimate truth, the wisdom that will help guide not only you, but your community and also this species. And this is a really hard thing to do because we all have strongly held beliefs, but it's such a skill and such a beneficial skill when you go later down life to say, listen, I was wrong. I can see now by X, Y, and Z that I was wrong, and going forward, I will do this. So to take action here, think of one strong belief you have. Step into the opposing viewpoint's shoes and try and make an argument from their side. What are the valid points they have? What are the arguments they might make? Principle number 5 is focus on what you can control. Just as nature takes every obstacle, every impediment, and works around it, turns it to its purposes, incorporates it into itself, so too, a rational being can turn each setback into raw material and use it to achieve its goal. One confusing point when I was learning about this whole stoicism thing, I'm still learning about this whole stoicism thing, was amor fati, which I think means to love your fate, but also argues that you should be able to control everything in front of you. You should have control over everything. And I was confused here because these two don't make sense, but it really was just a misunderstanding on my part. It's not that we're in control of everything that happens to us, but we are in control of how we react to everything that happens to us. We are responsible for some things, while there are other things which we cannot be held responsible. Viktor Frankl, who survived Auschwitz, right, and later describes his experiences in an amazing book, attributes his survival to mainly controlling his thoughts, being able to control the way he thought, the way he reacted to the absolutely awful things that were going on around him. You cannot control everything that happens in your life, right? That's impossible. But you can always control the way you react to things, the way you feel about what happens to you. And I think this is the most important principle of this entire video. If you take one thing away from this whole stoicism thing, from this whole video, take this point away. Focus on things you can control, which is more than you think, and ignore the rest. And I tried hard, really hard actually, to stick to the ancient quotes, the ancient books here, but there's always this one piece of evidence that stands out, that sticks in my head. Having an internal locus of control, that's attributing things that happen to you to yourself, as opposed to being outside of your control, is associated with greater levels of happiness, wealth, productivity, and even academic achievement. We can live longer. Of course, we can have a heart attack and die, but we can alter that risk, right, by not smoking, or by exercising or not exercising, or by eating or not eating in a certain way. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, but we can be whatever physical weight we want to be. Genetic predispositions make people more likely to be overweight or more likely to be underweight. However, these genetic factors are not 100% preventing you from losing or gaining weight. It really is up to you. It really is in your control. We can be successful at our work. Maybe we have a difficult boss or a tough job, and we can't change that. But we can change when we show up. We can change our performance on assignments, and we can change our interactions with our colleagues. Or we can find a new job. Focus on what you can control. Even pain is under our control. There is no good, there is no bad, there just is. Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been harmed. So take action here. Look at one recent setback you've had in the past year. Maybe you lost a job or failed a test. How has this actually helped you? What changes have been positive from this event? Where can you take control of the mental reaction to this event in your brain? Principle number 6 is, what were you meant to do? And this is one of my favorite Stoic quotes of all time. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for? The things I was brought into this world to do. Or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and to stay warm. To be literal, huddling under the covers usually accomplishes little. You won't go back into deeper stages of sleep with 5 minutes or 10 minutes of snoozing. And even worse, the alarm is usually on for a reason. Maybe it's for work. Maybe it's to prepare breakfast for little kids. Maybe it's to exercise. What's more meaningful, 5 to 10 more minutes like under the covers, or 5 to 10 more minutes at work, or 5 more 10 minutes with your family? Usually what you can accomplish out of the covers is better than what you can accomplish under the covers. So take action here. Come up with one meaningful thing that you can accomplish each day. Maybe it's a 5-minute walk when you first wake up, or your first blog post, or just cleaning up your space, cleaning up your house. Wake up and get out of bed as soon as you hear that alarm. Snoozing another 5 to 10 minutes really isn't going to do much other than waste time. Principle number 7 is, be grateful. He is wise who doesn't grieve for the things he doesn't have, but rejoices for the things he does have. Gratitude is not only a Stoic principle, but an evidence-based practice. So every single morning, I write 2 things that I am grateful for as part of my new journaling habit. And there are so many amazing things in your life. And I really find the power of noting, this is nice, this is kind of cool, is seriously underrated. So take action here. Think of 3 specific things you're grateful for. And after you've thought of those things, try to think about how you feel. How did thinking about those things make you feel? Do you feel happier to be where you are and doing what you're doing? Principle number 8 is, practice misfortune. It is in times of security that the spirit should be preparing itself for difficult times. While fortune is bestowing favors, it is then the time for it to be strengthened against her rebuffs. Many of these ancient Stoic philosophers, it seems, suggest the occasional practice of poverty. Drinking not very much water, not eating very much, leaving the comfort of your own home, and seeing if you can think about, okay, was not eating for a day really that bad? Was drinking a little bit of water really that bad? Because if you can go through these things and be okay, you can go through even harder things probably and be okay. Or even less hard things especially and be okay. For example, I recently did an experiment where I tried kind of fasting for 24 hours, and I also stood in the freezing rain for 10-15 minutes, and then I went into a really cold lake for 5 minutes. And I noticed that it sucked, it wasn't great, but it really wasn't that bad. And afterwards, I was stronger because of it. So what if I miss lunch at the hospital or have to stay up a little bit later? Because I can think about, wait a second, I did these things where I didn't eat anything for 24 hours. Or I can think about, I was outside in the freezing cold for 10 to 15 minutes and I survived. I was fine. And I was stronger mentally because of the things that I did then. But however, I think doing these crazy things is exactly that, crazy. It's too dramatic. The better thing to do is not be afraid and not complain about the occasional hardship. Being cold, being warm, being hungry, being tired. These are things that will happen, but why complain about them? You're cold, so what? You're hungry, so what? You're tired, so what? Take action here. Stop complaining about the small things, or for that matter, in general. Is it really that bad? Principle number 9 is, everything is passing. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, you say, and what you think. Life is fleeting. Good things come, good things go. Bad things come, and bad things go. In the moment of a particularly terrible event, it seems impossible to think that things will get better. But They do. Time heals nearly everything. This too shall pass. When the good things come, enjoy them, right? But don't cling on to them. When the bad things come, note them, but don't crumble because of them. Action item, think back to your first 18 years of life. What was the most embarrassing thing that happened to you? What was the worst thing that happened to you? Is it that bad now? Can you even think of something? If you're under 18, think about your first 10 years of life. Principle number 10 is focus on progress, not perfection. Let us prepare our minds if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. And this is another favorite of mine, probably my number 2 favorite one. Take action here. For fun, plan out your entire next week. What will you do every single day to get a little bit better every single day? So for example, I wrote out my next week plan right here of things I'm gonna do next week to get a little bit better. So every morning I'll wake up at 5:30, eat breakfast, walk outside for 10 to 30 minutes, have a cold shower, meditate for 20 minutes, journal for 5 minutes, and then write for 90 minutes with some coffee. Monday, I'll script 2 YouTube videos, go to the gym, and record a podcast. Tuesday, I'll script 2 more YouTube videos, go to the gym, and then read 60 minutes. Wednesday, I'll edit 4 YouTube video scripts, play soccer, and reach out to 10 new podcast guests. Thursday, I'll record 4 YouTube video scripts, play soccer, and go to the gym, and upload my new episodes, my new YouTube videos for my YouTube editor. And then on Friday, I'll finalize 1 YouTube video, record a podcast, go to the gym, and go to dinner with friends. Saturday, I'll go for a nice long hike, have breakfast, read outside, and relax. Sunday, I'll run, go to yoga, do meal prep for 2 meals, and plan out my next week. Principle number 11 is love fate. Accept the things to which fate binds you and love the people with whom brings you together, but do so with all your heart. Now, this was a hard one for me. How can I love fate if I don't really necessarily believe in it? I don't really believe that things are meant to happen, that everything is destined. I think there's a lot of random chance in life, a lot of random chance, so I can't really abide by this rule, right? Aren't I somewhat in control of what happens? Aren't I somewhat in control of what goes forward in my life? Again, here I had a misunderstanding. I misunderstood. It's not releasing yourself to fate and saying, I have no control. It's accepting what happens and saying, this is okay. I'm glad this is like this. There is benefit to this. Even if something absolutely terrible happens, there must be some positive to it, right? And if you can practice and perfect this mentality, you have a superpower. You can persevere through anything. Wishing something to be different usually accomplishes 0. Instead, and this is really, really hard to do, love it. Embrace whatever happens, accept whatever happened. It did happen for a reason. Energies put elsewhere, like complaining or saying, this is awful, beyond a certain point, really have no positive effect on you. So take action here. Think of one good thing that came out of one bad thing. Can you focus on the good thing and accept the wrong thing that happened? I mean, this principle, this stoic principle, is even Nathaniel Drew's catchphrase, amor fati. So it's gotta be right? But that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.